Yo, it's your girl Tia Miss Illinois checking in for the one time, y'all. Good grief and good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the joke, Tia, Miss Illinois. Brand new flavor in here. Good grief, if you will.
When I wake in the morning, gotta send a prayer up. It's a blessing just to be here. No, I don't believe in luck. New house, new whip, newborn, that's cool. 5 kids, 3 in school. Without God, I'll be a fool. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that it costs to be the boss. Sip my coffee, put my feet up, do some projects and get lost. Life is a gift, and I'm just trying to live and laugh and love and learn and forget. Hey, to the pip house. Good grief, y'all, and good morning.
Good grief and good morning, you all. We are here with a special guest. I'm just really excited to get into it. Tag a friend, tell a friend. The Good Grief Morning Show is on. The Good Grief Morning Show is on. Okay, the topic of the day, the discussion of the day. I need y'all to just go ahead again. Take 1 minute and tag a friend and tell a friend, y'all. Good Grief Morning Show is on. We got a lot to discuss. A very special guest. So we're gonna go ahead and play that intro back and just allow y'all another minute. Okay, because we're not finna be before you long with the stall and waiting on people to come in. You're gonna have to play it back, catch the episode back. But we want to move forward. So let your friends know the Good Grief Morning Show is on.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the joke, Tia, Miss Illinois. Brand new flavor in here. Good grief, if you will.
When I wake in the morning, gotta send a prayer up. It's a blessing just to be here. No, I don't believe in luck. New house, new whip, newborn, that's cool. 5 kids, 3 in school. Without God, I'll be a fool. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that it costs to be the boss. Sip my coffee, put my feet up, do some projects and get lost. Life is a gift, and I'm just trying to live and laugh and love and learn and forget. Hey, to the pip house. Good grief, y'all, and good morning.
Good grief and good morning. Before we get into our guest of the evening, you all, I just want to give an announcement. Something that we got coming up in just a couple of days, actually. We have Beauty Shop Talk. We will have a amazing conversation down at the Hair Lab. That's in Wisconsin. That's in Kenosha, 717 57th Street. And we're going to be talking about what does it mean to live free. So that's on July 24th. That's Wednesday, 6 p.m. If you are available, come on down. Come on down to the beauty shop, and we're going to be talking live. Again, what does it mean to live free? So it'll have myself. We have an amazing panelist, Kenosha Freeman. We also have Sophia. And I am just excited to announce the special guest that we have, who's also going to be there on the 24th, y'all. So we got a lot coming up. I can't wait to call her on out. So if you are not busy, July 24th, 6 p.m., you want to be there. Okay. Also, the past weekend, we celebrated the life of a young man whose life was taken from him. Very unfortunate, very very disheartening time. We are remembering the life of Xavier Booker. He's forever in our hearts. We had a beautiful service at Jesus' Name this weekend, and I got to see a lot of family and just friends, people that I grew up with. It was just a really special time, and so he is forever in our hearts, man. That was just woo. That was one that just really hit. So grief is all around us. It's really kind of what we do and how we handle it, how we're able to get day to day. I'm also keeping my sister, my friend, every week, Shauna Harge, in our prayers. Shauna is an amazing woman as well, and unfortunately, she lost her son in a car accident, and so that was very unfortunate. Little Caleb, he's in our hearts forever. Gone but never forgotten. He was just a special kid, and so we just want to keep Shauna lifted as well. Okay. So without further ado, you all, we are going to get into this special guest. Also, last few announcements, real quick. God It Hurts prayer journals. I do have that on Amazon or the Good Grief website. I have been selling those. These have been pretty hot. These are beginner journals. Beginner friendly. It is not overwhelming with so many pages. It's really like a 30-day journal. And you can really just kind of track your progress. Some days are going to be better than others. Some days are going to be rougher. Some days are going to be, good, up and down. So I like to kind of just track, yesterday was good. Today, maybe not so much. And so it's just really good to kind of look back and just see how you've been getting through. So God It Hurts. I was inspired to create this journal thinking about my daddy. God It Hurts. Again, some days are good and some days are a little tough. There's also my children's book, God, I Miss My Daddy. This is a book, A Little Girl's Conversation with God. She missed her daddy. She has questions. She wants to know, why did you take him from me? So it kind of starts off, God, I miss my daddy so much. Why did you take him from me? I think about him every day, but it's his face I want to see. And so she has that conversation with him. And then the good Lord comes back with his comforting words to be able to help this little girl through. And then lastly, we have the butterflies that couldn't flutter. And this is just my testimony. This is a story on love, faith, and hope about an almost deadly miscarriage. I almost didn't make it, but God. And so I just share my testimony. I just share a little bit about my life up until that moment. And then it's really important what you do after death. Life after death. It's something that I like to focus on because life does move on. And you really got to figure out, how to navigate this thing after losing a loved one, a family member, a friend. So life after death is important. What you do with yourself, how you take care of yourself. Your mental health is important. Your prayer life is important. And so we just need to figure out healthy things to do when we are going through. Okay, it's really important what you do. So, go over here. Also, I've been saying this. I have another guest that I want to get on here too. And I just have to get my scheduling together. Tina Pratchett. It is available now, but she wrote a book on overcoming church wounds. Overcoming church wounds. A lot of people have ran from the church. A lot of people have been hurt there. A lot of people have just had a horrible experience with church people. And so she wrote a book on how to overcome the church wounds. And so I really want to get her on here. I've been saying I'm going to get her on here, and I'm going to do just that. But we definitely want to talk about it. A lot of people have completely stopped going to church because of being hurt, or someone said something or did something or offended them. And the reality is, the good Lord wanted a house to be built for his people to be able to come together, fellowship and worship and praise him together. And so maybe things didn't work out there where you were. Okay, but I think it's healthy and I think it's important to maybe find somewhere else. It's just like school. All schools aren't for everybody. Some teachers aren't for everybody. People learn differently. People have different ways that they like to grow. Some people like a preacher. Some people like a teacher. Find what works for you, but keep a good, healthy relationship. Is my guest still on? I don't know if you had issues. I see the camera. Oh, okay, great. I was like, what happened? But yes, without further ado, you all, I would like to get my special guest on here. We had a little bit of some tech issues, so we started behind, but that's okay. We are going to keep rolling. Play this episode back. If you are tuning in late, it's okay. Play it back. It'll still be there. But let me read a little bit first before I get to introducing folks. Okay? And please, when I bring you on, because I tried to write this down and I couldn't find my pen. I don't want to say your name wrong. I believe I want to say it right. Lee Trish. We're going to bring her out in just a minute, but let me read a little bit about her. I was doing so many things. I tried to write it so I could say it the right way because it's not said how it looks, but she is a mother of 4 children. She had 3 boys, 1 girl. Her daughter is the oldest, and her kids range between the ages of 33 and 8 years old. She was born and raised in Chicago. Whoop, whoop, Chi-Town, stand up. Okay, so we got her from the city, y'all, but she's been out here in the suburbs with us for a couple of, for a little bit of time. She's been out here for a little while, but her heart, she's from Chicago. She currently works as a patient advocate, so she's helping other people. And unfortunately, she lost one of her children to gun violence back in 2021 in the summertime. So it's been, June of 2021. His name was Ladarius. She's going to talk a little bit about him, but he was 18 years old. And her story is shot in the dark at Bowen Park. It has been an extremely tragic loss for her and her family. However, through these years, she is just living and relying on God's promises as he continues to comfort her through these times. If there's any mothers on here, we all know that is just something that no one ever looks forward to. We don't want to bury our children. And so we are going to have her come on and talk a little bit about what happened that day, talk about his life, talk about what led up, and most importantly, how she's been able to just move forward one day at a time through that loss. So we really want to hear about that because, like I said, you all, it's really important what you do after a tragedy such as that. So we want to get some of her love and some of her, whatever that thing is, we're going to find out. Whatever that thing is that keeps her going, that's what we want to hear about. So we're talking about gun violence. This is a grieving mother's story, and we are remembering the life on today. So if you all could please like the page, share, follow, give me some hearts. Is my sound okay? For those who are tuning in, can you hear me? I want to make sure I'm heard before we bring her on. Good grief and good morning. Are you following the page? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? She is now the CEO and founder at Families Left Behind, not-for-profit. I can't wait to figure out and just to hear how she came up with a business after this. So if you can hear me, please let me know, and we will bring her right on. Good grief and good morning. Are you all following the page? Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Nobody said they can hear me, but I'm going to assume y'all can. Because I know y'all not going to just let me sit here and talk to myself. we're going to go ahead and bring her on, y'all. So let's not wait. Let's not delay. We have a mother with an incredible story. Clap it up and show some love. Clap it up and show some love for Miss Haynes.
You took the safe route, huh? You said, okay, I ain't gonna do this name thing again, huh?
Can you say your first name for me again?
Leatrice.
I love that. It's so different and beautiful. Well, I want to thank you for being here with us on this morning. You look so good. I'm like, you see people and things that they've been through, and you hear their stories, and you just be like, man, even myself, like, thank God I don't look like what I've been through because I've been through some
Right?
things.
Yeah.
And you look amazing. Good morning to Wayne's World. Thank you for tuning in. I know you can hear me. Mr. Wayne's World. Thank you for tuning in. So we have our special guest here, and I just want to ask you, how are you feeling today?
Right. Today I'm good. Right? Today, at this moment, as we speak, I'm doing rather well.
Yes.
As you know, that can change um, without your permission, right? Um, so that's all I got for that.
That's all she got. She said, today I'm good. Some days it's just up and down, when I go to Jewel, that was one place me and my dad always went together. Sometimes I
Mm,
find myself, I can't even run in Jewel without hearing him say, Tia, grab her or bring back some and I'll be fine. And then
right?
out of nowhere, I'm just a little sad. Does that
Yeah.
happen to you sometimes?
Oh, girl, it happens often, right? It becomes better to manage over time, but I'm always triggered. I could see someone that looks like a Darius, and I'm gonna do this,
Oh,
but this was my baby.
yes. He was
Yep,
so
yep, yep.
handsome.
So this was, wait, I'm on the other side. So this is what he looked like when he was murdered, more so right here. Um,
I was just gonna say, let's get into your story. Um, let's back it up. Set the tone for us. Were you at home? You're just relaxing. You're at home. Like,
yes,
take us
ma'am.
to
I
that
was
day when
asleep.
you got a call.
I was asleep. I got a call about 2:43 in the morning, and it was a lady on the other end. I didn't know who she was, but she knew me because she pronounced my name, right? And she says, I need you to hold on for a minute. Somebody wants to speak with you. I'm like, okay. So she clicked back over. Me and uh, someone else and her were on the line. And this young lady said, when was the last time you talked to your son? So by this time, I didn't raised up on my elbow, right? I say, which one?
Mm.
And she said, Twink. That was his nickname. And I said, why are you asking me that? Like, instantly, oh my soul began to crush. And she said, oh, well, we was at the park and shots rang out, shots started coming from the trees. And somebody seen your son fall.
Mm.
And they went back to shake him and he wouldn't move.
Ooh.
And I that was something that I could not process.
Yeah.
I could not process the words. They, it was just the words. I could not take them in, right? There was no comprehension, no understanding, just straight confusion. And Tia, I describe this, right, as descriptive as I know how when I'm telling my story. Because when they tell you that you would have to have experienced this, it's the truth. No one, our brain, our body is designed with an built-in, what is it? What is the word? Defense mechanism,
Defense
right?
mechanism. Yep.
To protect you. And I just, God is so amazing, right? It's like the only time that you can take such information in is when it's true, right? When you hear people say, I can't imagine. See, the thing is, the thought of that, your brain automatically reject it. It won't even go, because you you know what I mean? So, that's only for people that have to really process that. You understand? Is that it, right? And it took some time. And, I'm in my floor circling around, calling on Jesus. Now, I'm not praying. This is not something that I meant to do. All I knew was to say, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. I began to reach out to my children. No answer. I got a 5-year-old baby laying in a bed with me. I got to wake him up because now I got to go. The kids ain't answering, but I need to get to them. So it wasn't nothing but God that equipped me, covered me to that 10-minute ride down to my daughter's house. Right. And of course, sharing the news, and they just as shook as I am. And I get to the park. So I don't know if I should go to the hospital because it happened at Bowen Park right there off Sheridan. And Vista is close to there.
Right.
So the girl that called me, my friend, not the one that told me, but the girl that, she said, go to the hospital. Just go to the hospital. And okay, so we headed there. But my spirit kept telling me, go to the park. So as we got close to the hospital, well, I had mentioned that to my daughter's name is Lucretia. I mentioned that to her. And I said, okay, Creature, yeah, we're not going to go to the hospital. Some telling me to go down here to this park. And it was true. My baby, my 18-year-old baby had been murdered. Body in the parking lot on the ground.
So you saw him?
I did.
Like that?
I did. Not initially. Someone in the crowd had discovered, like, oh, he, and it's like, wait a minute. Is that? So that's something that I will never lose.
Were the medical,
yes,
everyone
girl.
was there. I'm glad you didn't go straight to the hospital because you would have missed that.
Right. So yes, the police had everything cordoned off, like you could not enter the park through any of their entrances. We entered off of 137, 170, whatever. I can't think of this. No, we entered off Sheridan. That's right. It was on Sheridan. So, but anyway, and when I got there, I said, well, I was told that my son was shot Like, can you tell me? And he told me, yeah. They had already identified my baby because he had his driver's license.
Mm.
And what I say is, there was nothing in me. You know how you store little tools along the way in life that you can apply here, apply there.
Yeah.
You know what to do with it. There was nothing
Mm.
that I had within me to apply to that situation.
Wow.
Nothing. Now, at this time, so I'm just going to speak briefly about my history, right? So, heroin, cocaine addicted, came to Waukegan 20 years ago, come to a recovery home, and I've maintained sobriety since then, right?
Mm.
So Ladarius, my other two children was raised by my mama, my oldest daughter and my oldest boy. So Ladarius was the one that I had regained the custody
Yeah.
of, right? He
Wow.
was the one that I was able to see because of my addiction. I wasn't, able to raise my children.
Yeah.
But this one, I was given the opportunity. And I did the best that I could. Right?
Right.
The best that I could. And I just remember expressing gratitude, all throughout his life, because I was just like, I never, right? I'm talking about hopeless, right?
Mm.
In active addiction, hopeless. But I didn't went from being hopeless to hopeful, right?
Mm.
I'm no
I got to
longer,
clap for that.
I'm no longer making decisions that will put me or him in danger, right? And I've gained some tools because I got a foundation from a 12-step program. So I had began making better choices because by this time, I'm in the game over 20 years now, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So look, I went from homeless to having an apartment, now, these things that you acquire
Yeah.
by living a better life, right? Some stability.
Yeah.
And so, at the time of his death, I had learned to make better decisions, but I can still make bad decisions. Don't you
Mm.
understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to have that taken away from me, I couldn't understand it. But let me tell you this. What I knew was that God had nothing to do with my baby's death.
Mm.
Nothing. That was a situation that I had to see immediately for what it was.
Wow.
Someone was up at that park shooting. Look, the shot was intentional, but not for my baby. You understand
Mm.
what I'm saying? That person didn't wake up that day and say, "Oh, I'm going to kill Ladarius Cohen so his mama can suffer
Mm.
for the rest of her life." Right? I had to understand that right away. And so now this process began. When I tell you that I had nothing, I mean just that, nothing.
Wow.
I describe this as, the white sockets that are on our, the electrical sockets, and they
Yeah.
have the red reset button,
Yep.
right? So that's a safety mechanism, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
It is, if it's too much current going through there, it's gonna shut it down. It's gonna shut it down. And that shock stripped me of everything that I had in me. It was gone. Gone.
Mm.
And that's where the footprints in the sand come in at. See, I remember laying in the bed after leaving the scene of the crime, lost. I don't know how things got done.
Yeah.
I don't I remember, okay, my baby got to eat. I can't have time remember feeding them.
Yeah.
I still got to tend to this child.
Yeah.
It's and this was done by something supernatural. It was supernatural. Look, I wasn't operating. When I tell you I was stripped of everything, I
Yeah.
meant that. When you hear people say that life can change in an instant,
Blink of an eye.
it's the truth. Your life can change in an instant. When they say life will never be the same, life hasn't been, it hasn't. It ain't gonna never be the same. You said something very important. It's about life after death, right?
After death. Whew.
And that is it. It was just like, how do you go on? And that same God, I say, that stripped me of all of the, tools and whatever else I had, because wasn't nothing gonna work but Him, no way.
Mm-hmm.
He began to fill me back up, and I began this journey. And let me tell you what I had to do. I had to go back and see about this 5-year-old little girl that was suppressed in me. See, that's when trauma was introduced into my life.
Mm.
I had to go back and see about her
Yeah.
because she kept popping up over the years. I didn't know I was operating from a space all my life,
That is
from
so
a
good.
little girl's perspective, grown with kids, girl, just out here.
Let me ask you, when it happened, did you find yourself ever angry at God?
That's not my story.
That's not your story.
No, ma'am. No, I was
That is
I was
good. You
angry
hear
at,
that. It's such a common thing because it's the pain and it hurts.
yeah.
And the first thing you want to do is, Lord, and you get mad at Him. You get mad. But that's not your story. Oh my
Nope.
gosh.
Nope. I never, no, my anger was towards the person that did it. I wanted them to die in the same manner, and I
Mm.
wanted their mama to feel the same way I felt. That's where my anger lied.
Am I sound okay? Okay. I'm sorry. Make sure my sound was good. My gosh.
Yeah, that's where my anger lied. And over time, that began to change. So today, I no longer feel that way. You know what I mean? Um, no, because there's no space for bitterness.
Mm.
Ain't no. Look, love and comfort. Like, life is enough already.
Wow.
Life is enough already. And I ain't never been a hateful person, never been a vengeful person. Yeah, I could have some screwed up thoughts after I felt that I was wronged, right? Some ideas of
Yeah.
how I can get you, but never resorting to any of that. Um, and it was just that, you know, God did what he do. Like, I mean, he again, footprints in the sand. He carried me, still carrying me.
Yeah. When you
And again, along the journey, retrospectively, right? Looking back on it, everything just kind of makes sense. Everything makes sense. Things had happened in my life to where he always showed up. Look, at that time, look, girl, getting off drugs was my greatest accomplishment
hey,
because I thought I'd never, ever stop that, right? And I always gave God the credit. Like, you understand what I mean? Like, I gave him like credit, thank God. Da, 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 da. But during this process, because
mm,
mind you, all of that, like that don't none, you know what I mean? It ain't none of that. My focus is living, right?
hey,
And that's what I had to ask God. I say, teach me how to live without my baby. Because I didn't
do
want
that
to be
thing.
here. So I wasn't trying to go hard. I did not want to face life. I didn't want to be here to try to figure that shit out.
Teach me how to live
I,
without my baby. Wow.
Because
Wow. I feel like that's what we need to be asking God, but alter teach me how to live without my father. Teach me how to live without my mother.
yes.
Teach me how to live, Lord, without my son. I gotta
Yep.
put that up in the thing. I gotta put that down in notes. That is, ooh, teach me how to live.
Yes. That was the prayer, right? That was it. Because I knew, I don't know, look, I ain't gonna say I knew at that time, but at some point in this journey, right, I went from believing that there was a God to knowing.
Mm.
Nobody can tell me he doesn't exist. Nobody, like, okay, you ain't got to, but I do. I ain't gonna, you understand what I'm saying? It's because ain't no way. I'm talking about I wouldn't
Ain't
have
no
been here.
way.
I wouldn't have been here. Like,
Wow.
because who you don't want to be around the wait, this precious child that you gave me an opportunity to raise,
Teach me how to live.
you gone, and Ladarius, was a loving, kind soul. We always referred to him as an old soul. My son wasn't a problem child. You
Mm.
know, I used to think that Ladarius didn't even lie to me. Um, and and he was so responsible because there's an age difference, with between my children. My first two are 8 years apart, and then his sister and him 13 years apart,
Wow.
right? So by my two oldest being with my mom, he was being raised as an only child, basically,
Mm-hmm.
because it was just him and I. So we do everything. We did everything together. You know what I mean? Including with his brother and sister, because of course I was able to gain a relationship and you know what I mean, with my two older children. I was never, completely out their lives, but I wasn't present mentally, emotionally, right? Because at that time, all I could do is chase, right? So, like, and this the thing. So when I tell you that I have an 8-year-old boy, he'll be 9 in September. Tia, I could not understand how I got pregnant at 42. That shit didn't make no sense to me. I'm sorry. Look, can I? Okay, maybe I shouldn't, cause that did not make sense to me. But I knew that it was more than a reason of unprotected sex that he
Wow.
was here.
Let me
And
ask
when
you
I
this.
lost, go ahead.
Breaking the news to your children about what had happened, how did that go? I how did you do it? What did that moment feel like? What?
Girl, I walked in that door. They was like in there knocked out. So I knocked on because my daughter and son was staying together. I knocked on his door first and I went to her door like, okay, y'all need to get up. Like I've been calling y'all. I'm in the crib. Y'all don't know it. And they was like, wait, what? What? My son just, I mean, you know, he was hurt. He was
Yeah.
angry. My daughter was kind of like me, just like, okay, what do we do? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, what's next? What's next? Um,
Mm. Wow.
I remember calling his uncle, because his dad had died in 2020. Ladarius's dad,
You said in 2020?
and huh?
You said in 2020 he passed away?
Yeah,
That's
Ladarius's
1 year
dad passed.
before him.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's a
see, and I
lot.
don't think that was by mistake either. Um, I don't think his dad could have took that. I don't think my mama could have took that either. I just don't. But he had an uncle and auntie that actually they were the ones keeping him while I was getting myself together,
Mm.
right? So they had my baby for 2 years, and they've always been a very intricate, important um, um, presence in his life, and I would never, ever, ever, um, what do you call it? Take that away from them.
Hmm.
So I remember having to call. We call him Yaya, his uncle. It, having to say that your child was murdered. I didn't try different words. He passed, like gone on. The street lights came. He didn't went on. My baby was murdered.
Mm.
Just taken. No dog in the fight, right? Again, they was up there after hours in the park. Sure enough, 2, 3 o'clock in the doggone morning. And see, he had secured himself with me. He worked at the airport. And
Mm.
he's like, oh, well, Mom, I'm not going to come in. I'll be going straight to work. I didn't like that. But by this time, I had learned not to respond,
Mm.
aggressively. And, so I waited an hour before I was like, okay, you know what I mean? What time you got to be at work? And
Yeah.
he's like 2:30. So I'm like, okay. Because in my mind, well, why is you out there in the street? You need to be in here trying to get some sleep for you know what I mean? But my baby, I trusted him. I had no reason not to. He had
Yeah.
never given me a reason not to. Right? He didn't bother nobody, ain't no beef with
Yeah.
nobody, not gang affiliated, no prison, no none of that. He graduated out here at Warren High School.
Wow.
Um, and like I said, yeah, he was taken. I felt so wrong. You know, this
Yeah.
it was just unjust.
Did they ever find the person who did it, or is that person just still out here somewhere?
So now that's one topic I don't discuss.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Very
one
well.
topic I don't discuss. Yeah. So
So after he passed in 21, when did you start this not-for-profit organization?
so that happened 2022. So let me tell you.
Wow. The next year.
That's when the seed was planted, the vision. I lay here, girl, with these thoughts and ideas, and it was just, it's cliche, but this stuff be so true.
Yep.
If I could just let one person know I understand, right? If I could just let one mama know, although families are being impacted, right? We want to dismiss the uncles, the daddies, the sisters and brothers, but it's an entire family, it's an entire community.
Yes.
And when I tell you the community showed up for, I ain't know nothing about community. See, because I'm from Chicago, and you mind your business, you don't trust the outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ain't know nothing about community coming together and offering so much support.
Yep.
That was just as mind-boggling as the death. I couldn't believe that.
You
Like
couldn't believe how people showed up for you
I
to
could not.
support and show their love.
Nope. That was mind-blowing. And but again, you have to think about my headspace, right? You know, my trust was broken a long, long time ago. I told you the space that I was operating from, right? I responded in the world as a little, in my adult life from this 5-year old little girl space, right? And sheltered and all whatever, right? So I, I just I wanted to be that to someone,
Mm-hmm.
right? I wanted to be means of support for someone. Cause baby, you don't get it, right? Look, until your child has been murdered, I'm not talking about no other means, right? I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about murdered,
Yeah.
an innocent victim. See, you can even
Yeah.
kind of accept
Yeah.
some stuff if you know your child out there in the mess, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could do that, but when he ain't had no, it's like, wait a minute, girl. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, I ain't gonna say that, but it was a whole lot of bullets shot that night, and only one baby person got shot. My baby, to the head, took him out instantly.
Ooh. Like,
And this is where my baby was injured, like right here,
ooh.
just that one, and it was just, and you know what? And I by this, and I'm shared that my baby came to me in a dream, and he said he was looking like he, seeing like I guess sparks or something, and he was look like, okay, is that what I see? And when he did like that to kind of take another look, that's when it hit him.
Ooh.
And I believe that. I just
You said that was in a dream.
Yeah.
When did that dream come? I'm still waiting on a dream. I be asking God for, at least for me
I
personally.
know,
It's
right?
been 2 years
I
since I
don't.
lost my dad, and I begged for a dream.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I
I ain't got
can't
one.
remember when it happened, but I want to say it was early on, maybe a year. I don't, like I said, I don't know, so I ain't
Okay.
even gonna. But when it came to me, because he was coming often, he was always trying to share like what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and something to cut us off or something. You know what I mean? Um,
Wow.
yeah, he was, yeah. Um, it was a couple of times of that. And
Wow.
he was gone. So I wanted to be a member in the community, right? That supported other families that had been lost to these gun crimes that ravages our communities. Like like you can't make sense out of stuff that don't make sense.
Yeah.
And only a mother that has lost a child, daddy that done lost a child the way we have
Yeah.
and will continue to, can get it. Can't nobody else get it. This is, again, this is your new life. That's always on the brain.
Yeah.
It's always on the brain. That it don't go nowhere. Yeah, you learn to manage along the way.
Yes.
Of course, man, that just had me to look, stop, drop, and roll. Like, okay, God, look, and I'm
And
look,
time ain't gonna stop and wait. And I saw you said this happened in June. So it's like the school year started in another month. I'm thinking about everything that still has to get done. Even though this happened, still got to register, still got to do some shopping. You still got to, it's like you still got to do. And sometimes you just want things to just stop, but you still got to do. And I thank God that sometimes it's the other children that actually help keep you going. Because just say if he was your only child, no other children, maybe a single mom, who knows how it would have went. But to have something, I still have others. I still got a responsibility. It kind of almost forces you to still have to push. Even when you want to break down or shut out, I still have stuff to do. So when the community can come and do things like bring some food or make sure I eat. I don't feel like cooking, but I got children that need to still eat. I don't feel like I don't feel like doing anything, but you coming in and checking in or bringing some toiletries by, just making sure that we have a few necessities. That's the thing that inspired me for good grief because, like you said, the community coming together. And my father didn't have life insurance, so we know how expensive it is to bury someone with no insurance. If it wasn't for people coming and just sending a few dollars or, hey, Tia, just want to bring some stuff for the family so y'all don't have to do this and that. That is what inspired me to say, my God, I want to do this for people because I need this.
yep,
I felt like a functioning depressed. I'm
right.
depressed, but I'm functioning enough to still, I have other kids. I have this. I have that. And so the fact that the families left behind, what do you all do, or are you trying to do for the other families who have experienced exactly what you've been through? How do they connect with you? How do they reach out?
Well, they can reach out always on Facebook. Um,
Facebook, okay,
uh-huh. Um, yeah, so like the information is there, YouTube, TikTok. Um, but it's basically, girl, I reach out to different families through Messenger.
okay,
And, I offer my condolences.
Do you have a support group? I think I read something. I saw
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I was
So I do
looking
have
for
a
that. I'm like,
support
I
group.
think you have a support group.
I did the
Um,
first one the end of June. So I'm looking the end of July. Um, just some of the members, had some stuff going on this month. So, it's like, okay, um, keeping them in mind, right?
yes.
So I'm trying to plan around that.
And you meet, is it like once a month you do a meeting,
It will
couple
be
times
once
a
a month.
month?
Yep, it will be once a month. I mean, because life be life, girl.
Life be
Um,
life.
and and after consulting, right, with the like, hey, what do you know what I mean? Because I don't need one more thing for you to do, right? I don't need one
Wow.
more thing. We get together, we do whatever come up, come out. We
I
depart, we
love
stay
that.
connected via text, like whatever, you know what I mean? And we, until we meet again.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. And I also have a concern,
Okay.
about our mamas out here that are raising their children, doing the best that they can. And you know how children just go wayward, right? And society just look at you like, oh, you weak, you couldn't handle your children, you should have did
Yeah.
this, you should have did that, right? Not knowing, not remembering what they were like when they was a child,
You better
horrible
speak.
decisions that they were making when they was a child. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Not understanding that they may be responding from a place of grief too, right?
Mm.
Trauma. It's a trauma
Mm.
response. It is this fundamental need to be accepted.
Mm.
So if you accepting me, showing me some love, I'm gonna do what you do. You smoke, I smoke. You shoot, I shoot. I ain't got, look, I'm talking about when everything in your soul is telling you, right? See, that ain't no good, but you do it anyway.
You do
Because
it
now
anyway.
you got somebody to accept you. You don't want rejection is difficult for us.
Yeah.
Rejection is difficult. And yeah, if, and so what about them mamas that cry out for help? Right? Let me tell you, I experienced uh um what you call that girl sentencing of a child. Crazy. um and it was this division, they on this side, the victims over here of the deceased, right? So they split up. It's animosity in the air.
Mm.
The victim, the perpetrator, the family upset at the victim. Girl, I felt like I was in a twilight zone. I said, what is going? What? Okay, so the boy got sentenced to 20 years,
Oof.
and that mama howled out a cry just like I did when I lost my baby.
Mm.
You under that lady hollered out when the judge sentenced her baby,
Oof.
and I felt everything about that.
Yeah.
And it began to, me to take a
Oof.
different perspective. What added to a perspective I had already been aware of, I should say, that y'all not that different. Both of y'all that lost
Mm.
kids, one to the
Yep.
system, one
Yep.
to death. We out here giving up 2 for 1s.
Yeah.
Don't let okay, because look, it was like 4 other uh, people on the case. Now 4 of y'all lives gone for one life, right? You know what I'm saying? you took a life, now 4 of y'all lives taken away from you. You know, getting you to understand, it's not by mistake that these guns are in our neighborhood. It's by design.
It's not a mistake. No.
It's not, you know, and what I need you to do, stop doing the sucker shit, right? Because that's what that
Yep.
is. That's all that you are falling for it. You know, you go out here and you look revenge. You want to get your lick back. So I had the opportunity to speak, right? To, I'm just gonna say, at-risk youth, not to offend nobody. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
the best thing I can come up with right now, right? That our justice impacted. And you know, and it's just like, okay, I just need you to, right, understand that this is what you're doing. You are mad at each other. It's so, this division. You know, you mad at them, they mad at you. Brothers and sisters mad at each other's. The husband and wives are divided.
Yes.
You got baby mama against baby daddy. Girl, it's
Yeah.
just everything is a dog like. And
It makes
here
me
you
feel like
go.
when the good Lord said in the end times, at the last days, it's going to be mothers against sons and daughters against fathers and brothers against sisters. He talks about how bad it's
Yeah,
going to get
yeah,
before that. So when I see things like that, I think, man, this ain't nothing but prophecy. Man, God said this, and we are
yep,
seeing it.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
a little scary, because it's like it don't have to be this way. But he said it was gonna be this way. There's some
And that's
people
the
that
thing.
still have time to get that love in their heart, because some people just been through so much, and like you said, the trauma, stuff that you carrying over from your childhood, and even just the way you're being raised. Some people are raised to, they're not raised on giving people another chance, or it's just all, if somebody do this, then this is what you do. It ain't no,
Right, right,
you know, give some grace. Maybe you never know what people going through.
right.
It's all just, you don't let nobody talk to you crazy. You don't let nobody. But it's like, what's up with giving people another chance? The whole walking away. Like, there's gonna be some times you can't walk away. Certain things have got to be addressed.
Yep.
But even like you was mentioning with retaliation, you did something to this person. Now we got to do something to you. And now since we can't find you, we'll just do it to someone close to you. And it's just a never ending cycle, and it just keeps going.
Yeah. So
But
they
what
gonna
you
do it
doing
to,
with families left behind, we don't have to get together and rally with our hurt and get out here now, because hurt people hurt people. We can at least we can show some love to one another. Even in that story that you was just saying, when the son got 20 years, that's a grieving mother right there.
yes.
She's suffering and has to pay, in a sense, from the actions of your son.
Yep.
But that mother is still deserving of love, even if her
Yes.
son. She's she should still be supported, in a sense. I didn't do it; it was my son. We can't. We teach our
Right.
children right from wrong, but they're gonna make their own decisions in some things. And it doesn't mean
And
you are a bad
yeah.
mom or you didn't teach them something.
But society makes that so difficult because, you know, we're judging. We heard, oh,
Yep.
see, it started at home. And girl, do you know? My parents, grandparents didn't condone none of the decisions that I made. There ain't nobody teach me how to do none of that. You
Yeah.
know, what they did, they lacked an ability to give me what I needed as a little girl. The unconditional love, the comfort, building me up, you know, telling me not,
Yeah.
oh, you can be whatever you want to be when you grow up, but you don't tell me how, right? You dim in my light, like, oh, you talk too much, you can't, your mouth too smart, you'll be a good lawyer, girl, but you know, it was always hush, 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 right? You know, so of course,
Yeah.
I think your abilities, if they're not, girl, my baby can pop a piece of bubble gum. I'm like, yay, yay. You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? It's like, because believing in you, right? If you believe in yourself, see, it's gonna take that. You gonna have
Yeah.
to tap into, just think about something you're good at. It don't matter as long as you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like going back to, I kept thinking about ways that I wanted to help people, right? And again, on both ends of the spectrum, right? Via speaking engagement. So yeah, if anybody want me to come talk to some cheering, or look, anybody, um, I'll do that. But it's uh, it's a mess out here, and
It's a mess.
we all need
It's a
support.
mess.
We all need support. And again, that's just what I wanted to do. There's other things that I'm hoping to do as well, but right now primarily is hosting the group, showing up at speaking engagements, and connecting with parents, right?
Yeah.
That I know have been a victim, because
Yes.
we all hurt, right? My story, your story, our story.
We all got a different story. And
Hmm.
I work with Latoya Howe. Her son was murdered, Justice Howe, by the Zion Police. And every year she puts on an event, a scholarship banquet in the world. And every year she has mothers, fathers, aunties, just family, different states, not just here. I've had an opportunity to meet oh, let me not start saying these names, but some of these other bigger stories with men and the police violence and stuff like that. So every year she has a panel of people come together and they share their stories. And some of the stories that you hear, it just makes you say, "My God."
Yeah.
You you hear, I'll never forget the one mother who said her son was shot up so many times they had to stop counting. They couldn't count anymore the amount of bullet holes. The stories that you hear, and then them trying to still press their way and figure out a way to help other people in the midst of that. And Latoya always says something that sticks with me. She said, "All of us in here right now, we are a part of a fraternity or a sorority that none of us wanted to be a part of. We didn't ask for this. It's just something that it is what it is.
Right.
And so now that this is what it is, what can we do?" But it's that part that says we are a part of this sorority. We are a part of this fraternity that none of us wanted to be. You sign up for that type of stuff. We didn't sign up for this. It
Right.
just it just happened. We didn't say, "Hey, this is." It's the aftermath of what happened. And so I really commend like you and her and others, because I'm telling you, man, this is the type of stuff that just make you want to you don't want to do anything. It's not fair.
Right.
But then I think about my faith, and it's like, good grief. What makes you exempt? What makes you think that you're not going to go through something? What makes you feel that one of your loved ones, or everybody's just going to have a good ride?
Yeah.
We all got a cross that we got to pick up and carry, and we are all living sacrifices. And that's the scary part. We are all in line. We just don't know where we're at in that line.
Oh, baby. Baby. Say that one more time. Look, put that up there.
We
Where the
are
clapper thing
all
at?
in line. We just don't know where we at in line. Like, we don't know, where are we in the front? Are we? And I told God, I was like, man, with everything going on, it's like we are on a battlefield, but we just don't know where we're placed. Are we on the front line? Am I in the back? Do I got more time? Where are we? And so that's
Right.
how I try to live my life, knowing that I am on a we are in a war zone. And we just don't know. We just don't know what portion of the war we're in. And
Right.
so I think that what you're doing is so good because it helps you to just kind of self-examine and to show that you still have love in your heart. You're not cold-hearted. Stuff like this turn a person stone cold.
Mm-hmm.
And so we thank you and commend you because families left behind. When I think about that, it's deep. That person that we loved is gone on, but it's the life after death. The families that's left behind.
We
So
here
I
to pick up the
commend you and I
pieces.
thank you.
Yep, here to left to pick up the pieces and carry on. Um, and I just choose to do it gracefully,
Mm,
right?
you're
By
doing it.
helping others. I've always had that spirit. But yeah, it's a whole lot. You know, behind the scenes, legislative, guns, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
again, it's all, by design. Make the other people scared of us so they can buy more guns, right? And the people make more money, right? And
Yep.
then they get a chance to shoot us
Yep.
and Holiday was scared because we portrayed as animals,
Mm,
right? So and then on the other side, they biggest fear is they kid getting shot up in the school. See, we don't too much think about that.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not our worry, but their worry is a school shooting.
Yep.
See,
Yep.
um, and any fear. Again, division. So it's a lot, but like you just said, I know I can't quote it, but if we all trying to find our way, and this
Yep.
is just life. Ain't no
Yep.
precursors. Everything is a new experience. I don't
Yep.
care if you bought a car before. You ain't never bought a car at this car lot, signing this paperwork. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
everything is an experience, and you get to do it how you want to.
Yep.
I mean, when they tell us about our kids and we try, they do what the hell they want to do. They individuals. They got a mind of their own. And it's
Yep.
just like, and that's the thing. The stronger desire. If my desire is to drink this pop, my mama said, don't drink. It ain't personal. This
Yep.
is about me learning that it's not. I could not personalize my son's death. Right?
Mm.
I couldn't do it. Because it
Oh, that's good. I couldn't
yeah,
personalize
I
it.
mean, with that, your perspective on life changes. I had to change my perspective on death first, right? And then that's when I realized, like you said, okay, this is about living. So God, teach
Yep.
me how to do that. So now I'm truly living,
Ooh,
but I had to get here. You understand what I'm saying? I had to get here,
that is
and
so
and and
good.
and here I am. And I have a saying: we stand while they rest. It's if so. I don't
Dang.
care if I got to hold a sign, if I got to speak in a bullhorn, if I got to walk the whatever. That's what I'm gonna do. If I need to sign a bill or whatever, witness. I'm doing all of that
Yeah.
to prevent if it's just one,
Yep.
not experiencing joining a society,
Mm.
like you said, the sister said,
Yep.
without their permission.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Well, that was deep. I just want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah. I thank you for having me. I do. I really do. I
I really
appreciate
appreciate
that.
Miss
And excited
Stephanie.
to see you
Stephanie
on
Hudson was
Wednesday.
telling me about your group that the meeting that you had. I think she showed me an old flyer or something. I think I saw the old flyer, but I told her I want to pop in. I'm gonna pop in and sit in the next time you do one. So I'll make sure I share it on my page. I'll make sure I let people know about it. But I know
Right.
that it hits different when it's gun violence specifically. Like I know
Right.
there's a lot of ways we can lose somebody, but it's just the gun violence is just it's too much.
Right.
It's just too much.
Yep.
We're just
Yep. Yep.
losing people for something that could have been a fight or a misunderstanding. We could like we don't have to end each other's lives. We can fight it out, talk it out, work it out, duke it out. And so it just hit different when it's gun violence to me, because my God, it's just it's overwhelming. It's obsessive. You just hear about it everywhere. It's too many. It's just too many stories like this,
Yeah.
especially for someone that didn't deserve it, that wasn't a part of anything. We get it. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. But what about those who wasn't living by it? And so I don't know. I know that it takes things like this to happen to for us to create other things for people. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have thought about a non-for-profit organization thinking about families left behind. It just probably wouldn't have been a thought. It's a good idea, but it just wouldn't have been in the forefront of my mind. But it took for something to happen close to me for me to
Yep.
create this
Yep.
thing. And thank you for letting God use you.
Look,
My
how can you
God,
deny? How can you deny?
how can you deny? Ooh,
Use
we.
me. Look, until you use me up. Look. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I want to say this. I don't know. Remember me reaching out to you, asking
When I
you if
first
you.
made good grief.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And so we'll be doing our second honor brunch,
Okay.
um, January the 12th of 2025. So I'm gonna
Where's
put
my
that out
pen? I
there.
got to write stuff down. January 12th.
And it's something, because you like laughter, right? And that's important to you. And I wanted, I was like, gosh, if I could just get that girl, look, if I could just get that girl to come, right? Because when we do these, they're not sorrow filled, right? You know what I mean? We're fellowshipping
Yeah.
amongst others that can use a good time, you know. So, I thank you for what you do in the community. Stay tuned. I have a journal coming. 30-day
Oh,
journal. Yeah. Um, so but like you said, like these are our experiences, our story needs to be told to offer hope. We have to offer some understanding. Look, offer some grace.
okay. Yeah.
We all just trying to make it out here.
Yep.
Everything we go through, life. Death ain't nothing new. Homicide ain't nothing new. Cancer
Yeah.
ain't nothing new. Like, ain't none of that. Death is a part of life, right?
Yes.
And don't nobody know how they gonna deal with it. Screw that. Mind your business. Look, mind your business.
Man, your
Allow
business.
people to be, because we all got to do it. We all got to take that walk.
Yeah.
We can instill, we can suggest, we can do all of that. See, I don't do that with the grown folk. I'm talking about my kid when I talk, because I look, I don't, my older kid, I ain't in a relationships. I ain't in none of that. Okay, I, you just know you can come home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just know you can come home.
Just no.
Um, yeah. So ain't nobody like we all trying to make it.
We all
So
trying to make it. And let's
make
keep in
some.
mind, y'all, it is really important. Life after death. Life
Yes.
after death. Understanding them stages of grief that you in. It's going to be okay to be in all the stages at different times. Grief is a part of something that I read. It said grief is the price of love. There's no grief without love. It that's what grief
Right,
is. The hurt from love. I
right.
love that person, or I love that job. I love that house that I lost. I love that's what grief is. And so ever since I read that, grief is the price of love, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
my God,
Oh
everything
yeah.
got a price. And we just gotta pay that. We gotta pay the cost. We just gotta pay the cost. But take care of ourselves as best we can, one day at a time when things happen. I commend you. You are like the first person that's ever said, no, I wasn't angry at God. I ask people that question because I know it's easy to do that because you're hurt and you're confused when things happen. And I want to say you are the first person that has told me, no, I wasn't. I was angry at the person, I was angry at the situation, but I wasn't angry at God.
Mm-mm.
That's a good space to be in.
He
That means
didn't
He
do
has
it.
definitely brought you through some things, and
Yeah.
your faith was like, you know what? I still love Him, and I still trust Him, and He's still good. I just got to deal with this, but it's not going to turn me away. That is,
Mm-mm.
that is something that definitely, wow.
Absolutely.
You are a rare breed for that one.
Yeah, I say only God, and I don't buy that. Oh, all things happen for a reason, and no, I reject anything like that. Don't tell me
Mm,
that. Please don't tell me all things happen for a reason. God got a plan, and because that insinuates He had something to do with my son's death, and God don't like that. He don't like our children out here being murdered. He'll
he don't.
never, or it's
And
the
he say,
evil
vengeance
in the
is
world.
mine.
You know what I mean? Yes, it's evil in the world, unfortunately, and people gonna be people, right? So you can't tell. Now, of course, has it turned into something great, right? Like His word say, turning. Because man, look, I began to live free. I began to live free, right? It's like I'm talking about all of this was gone and renewed. You know what I mean? Whole
Yeah.
new frame of thinking, whole new way of speaking, whole new way of acting. Girl, bye. You ain't, no.
Wow.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Wow. Are you all right with me? We're gonna have to have you back on before the year is out for sure. Maybe well, we in the summertime now, maybe in the winter or something. I'm gonna check back in a month or two. We may have to bring you back on, or even if when you do your next thing. But you are definitely somebody to know. You all look her up. Just find her on Facebook. Connect yourself. She's really cool, down to earth, very down to earth, easy to talk to. And that's good when you're trying to help people. You got to be able to be approachable, and you are that. So thank you for coming on the show with us. I'm going to let you get out of here, and then I'm going to close out with some announcements. But before I let you go, can you just leave one word, a piece of advice or inspiration or anything to the other mothers and families who are just grieving the loss of a loved one due to specifically to gun violence? Just what do you want to leave them off with that can just maybe help them through this week?
I don't.
Hmm.
I don't. Because see, there are, there's nothing. I
Wow.
don't have it in my vocabulary. I don't like. I just you know what I mean? Because it's whatever it take. It's whatever it take.
That's it.
That's it.
Whatever it takes.
It's whatever it take. I don't. That's no. So
I love that response, actually.
yeah. They outlook. But I'm not even telling them that. See, because I understand. Everybody didn't respond. It was some people that are, still mad at God. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got to be careful, and you know what I mean. Like, I ain't trying to offend nobody. I ain't trying to do none of that.
Okay. Well, for those who are watching, just know that she does have her journal coming out, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some things in there that you can take away, just to help you one day at a time, daily, one day at a time. It's tough, and sometimes there really are no words. There are no words, and so at least you have taken the pain that you've endured and just tried to make some purpose and do something with that. So I would say that for my last message, then, if there's anybody that's just going through something, I just want you to know that you're not alone. I know sometimes even if you feel like you're alone, I promise you it's a whole lot of us out here grieving over all type of things. It may hit you a little harder than the next person, but I just want you to know that you're not alone, and whatever you got to do, whatever it takes, like she said, whatever it takes. If you got to run, if you got to yell, scream it out, whatever your thing is. If you got to hit the gym, if you got to take a walk, if you got to just whatever your
Right.
thing is, you find that thing. Crochet, reading, writing, coloring, sketching, Sudoku, a word puzzle, whatever you have to do to just feel a little bit better about your day, about yourself, take that time and do that. Well, I'm going to let you go ahead and get out of here. And I thank you for tuning in with me. We will catch up. I will see you in 2 days for
Yep.
let me put that back up so the people can see. Boom. The Beauty Shop Talk, you all. Beauty Shop Talk, where we will be talking what does it mean to live free. That is on July 24th in 2 more days. We're gonna be at the hair lab, y'all. So make sure you pull up if you can to that. I'm not sure if it's gonna be on live or anything, but you can definitely pull up. The address is on the flyer. Find that. So thank you so much. You enjoy your day. I'm gonna close out with everything else. You all, I thank y'all for tuning in. If you are not following the page, please follow the page. Please like the page. I do plan on bringing more guests in as we continue to go. So, good grief. Good morning, you all. And tell a friend to tune in. We are done for the day. Y'all have stuck it out with me long enough. And I appreciate you for tuning in each week. Play it back for those who have missed it. Share with a friend. But we about to get up out of
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the show. Tia, Miss Illinois. Brand new flavor in here. Good grief, if you will.
When I wake in the morning, gotta send a prayer up. It's a blessing just to be here. No, I don't believe in luck. New house, new whip, newborn, that's cool. 5 kids, 3 and 2. Without God, I'll be a fool. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that it costs to be the boss. Sip my coffee, put my feet up, do some projects and get lost. Life is a gift, and I'm just trying to live and laugh and love and learn and forget. To the pip house. Good grief, y'all, and good morning.
All right, y'all. Good grief. Good morning.